Let's talk about this new Spider-Man show, man. Some new Spider-Man content just dropped, ladies and gentlemen. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It dropped its new trailer on a Sunday. Okay? I'll just have the trailer kind of playing in the background for you all here. I actually want to mute that because look, what the hell? Okay, look, we'll go over the trailer itself, but there's really not too much to talk about with regards to Easter eggs and stuff like that. So, here's the thing. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. We got some new Star Wars content, and my reaction is, thanks, I hate it. But it's almost 2025. It's a new year. It's a new me. And so I want to try something different. I want to be a little bit more positive. I want to try something known as the sandwich technique. Okay? So if you're ever trying to be critical of something or shit all over something, but you don't want to come across as toxic and negative, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, try the sandwich technique. What's the sandwich technique, you ask? You take the criticism or the negative thing and you sandwich it between two positive things. So we're going to start with something positive, then I'm going to talk about the negative, then we're going to talk about some positive. Okay? So, first thing about the thing that's positive is I think it might actually be cool for the kids. Okay? It's definitely Spider-Man. It's got a Spider-Man vibe. It's kind of funny. The animation is okay enough that maybe the kids will like it. Like genuinely, I was thinking about this. If Liam was a couple of years older, he'd probably look at this show and get excited. And it's not a bad thing for Marvel Studios to be creating new Spider-Man content that's aimed at younger people so that they have a version of Spider-Man that they really like. I mean, we had the 90s Spider-Man. We had Spider-Man Unlimited. All kinds of Spider-Man shows. You know? All kinds of Spider-Man stuff. And in that sense, it's good for the kids. And maybe that's who it's aimed at, and maybe that's okay. Right? Now, let's talk about the negative. The animation looks terrible. I don't know, man. I'm not an animator. I'm not an animated film critic. Okay? But I've seen good animation. I've seen bad animation. I don't know what this is, but it doesn't make me feel good inside. It makes me feel weird. It makes me feel like they're trying to make art that humans make look as awful as possible so that then we all feel it's okay when the AI takes over everybody's jobs. Full stop. This looks like shit. Second thing I don't like. Modern Spider-Man. Oh, he's a streamer? Oh, he's a streamer. Oh, he's using hip, cool lingo and shit. Yeah, no, I hate it. I hate it. As somebody brought up earlier, this is them trying to do like cool, kind of like Miles-esque version of Peter Parker. It does kind of remind me of what Bendis and Pacelli did with the Ultimates Peter Parker, because Ultimates Peter Parker was a little bit more cool and shit, which is like the Andrew Garfield one where he's on a skateboard and stuff like that. Doesn't always work with everybody. Nobody always loves it. I certainly don't. I think Tom, I like Tom Holland. And I like Biro. You know what I mean? Like, that fits for me. Like, some nerdy little kid making a brand that makes no fucking sense. That's way more Peter Parker than whatever the hell this thing is. Like, I don't love modernized Peter Parker. Let him be a nerd. Let him be a dork, man. You know what I mean? Anyway. Okay, here's the worst part, though. Here's the worst part. Are you ready? X-Men 97. Man. X-Men 97. I'm going to make a bold claim. You ready for a bold claim? Get ready. Get ready. X-Men 97 Season 1 might go down as being as bad for a brand as the Snyder cut of the Justice League was for DC. Albeit, both of these projects were absolutely incredible. But they also gave audiences a taste of something that was incredible with a particular flavor that cannot be replicated. And therefore, they become the thing that you will have your stuff compared to forever. Especially with regards to animation when it comes to Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios is going to have every single animated thing they do for the rest of time compared to X-Men 97. And X-Men 97 was lit. It's also really hard because what many of us really want is Spider-Man 98. Taking that version of Peter Parker, who we do see in X-Men 97, and doing some kind of continuation in the vein of X-Men 97. So it's tough, man. It's tough. So overall, I had a negative reaction to it. I don't think it looks good. I think I'm just comparing it to X-Men 97. And I don't love the modern Spider-Man thing. But there are actually a couple more positives here, okay? You ready? Just sandwich that shit in. Man, sandwich that shit right in there. Sometimes you gotta sandwich that shit. So there are some cool things going on here. I like the Future Foundation suit. It seems like this show is going to at least go for it in that sense. A lot of Marvel stuff, including What If, which we're about to talk about. You know, it kind of seems like they've lost their imagination. They've lost their will to really go for it. Kind of feels like they're playing it safe. This show does promise some interesting things. You know, Norman being the sort of Nick Fury of this version of Spider-Man. Future Foundation suit, other kinds of suits. We've seen them all leaked online, right? There's also some potentially really interesting things actually being done in the show. So I'll show you this. This was from, I believe this was during like one of the Comic-Cons, maybe Brazil, maybe D23. We can see Venom is about to fight with Doctor Strange and Peter Parker. So a Doctor Strange, Peter Parker team up where they're fighting against Venom. That's pretty freaking cool. There are other really freaking cool, nerdy things that are supposedly going on in this show. So maybe, some of the stuff we're not pumped about will be overshadowed by some of the hyped and really cool things that are going on. It's almost like this could have what-if elements, things that are really interesting, things that frankly aren't happening in the actual MCU. And that is genuinely something I'm excited about. Like, I'm really looking forward to when Marvel, part of the joy of the multiverse, the multiversal saga, at least hopefully in the next couple of years, is the idea that we get a little more true to form comic book fun, which is all crossovers, baby. We love the team ups. We love the crossovers. We love the events. You know, stop like restricting everything. It would be crazy if this character could show up in this movie or this show, this, that, second, and the third. Come on, man. Marvel introduced Kang in the finale of a Loki show. Like, we could do anything. So that is actually something that I'm pretty excited for, is like the hyped up possibilities of the show. And you know what? I'll just roll right into my what if thoughts here too, because I don't have a ton of thoughts on what if. I'm going to be real. Didn't finish the series. Not really feeling it. I will watch it, but I'm not really feeling it, okay? I didn't watch What If Season 2 for a long, long time. Wasn't really feeling What If Season 3. From what I have seen, the discourse around What If is pretty bad. I mean, it's being clowned on for the Howard the Duck, Darcy Lewis child, who's apparently now a big deal and is like Harley Quinn, and she's a member of the Exiles. What are we doing? You know, what are we doing there? The show's been hit for having weird teased variants, either through name drops of the Watchers where they name drop like Reed Richards, or the actual end of the show, which teased variants that are way more fun than any variants we have in the show. There's also some weird comments one of the writers made about not realizing they had access to the X-Men. I don't know if he's just trying to save face or whatever, but terrible comment. Terrible comment. You have people like Rob being like, my brother, you got the rights back from Fox 5 years ago. We all know it. It's a silly thing to say. What are you talking about? You know, like, you don't have to defend that. It ends up making you look incompetent. And you're also the writer now on X-Men 97 Season 2. So all this stuff kind of works together. And it doesn't feel great. Okay? It doesn't feel great. So, again, I'm trying to be chill about this. I'm trying to be nice. But this is why I have continued to preach that a lot of these projects that I feel like have been lost in a creative limbo, I feel like Marvel Studios would be better suited if those projects were canceled. They did not see the light of day because of kind of the discourse we're currently having about what if, especially, and that's already started to build around this Spider-Man show. Okay? Now, again, things are so much more complicated on the inside of a studio. I have no idea the considerations that Feige or other executives have with the people they work with the studios, organizations, other groups, you know, VFX teams, animation houses, or whatever. It's a complicated structure. I can't begin to understand everything that is at play. But just from the outside looking in, what I am saying is the damage that would come to your reputation from those things going away feels like it would be less than the damage you're going to accumulate over time by continuing to release stuff like this that the fans not only do not like, they're starting to actively meme on and hate. Right? I don't think this is a positive strategy for the brand. That's what I'm saying. Okay? Now, I will end it off on like another positive note, though. You know, look, it's a new year. It's a new me. I'm trying to be positive over here. I am reminded of the example of Agatha, okay? I mean, like Echo, I try to defend that show, but there's no fucking shows that have 5 episodes. There's not. This thing had 4 episodes that they were able to get together that were decent, cutting out probably like 9 or 10 episodes. And then their finale was a goobly glob thing that rushed to the finish line. It was horrible. Okay? But the discourse around Echo was not terrible because you had a week. Or no, they binged that. Didn't they drop it all at once? Right. So like a lot of people, earlier binges, there's positive talk, and then the finale was kind of an afterthought. But it was bad. Agatha was surprising. And I think a lot of us said, wow, way better than I thought. Oh, that's actually pretty decent, et cetera, et cetera. And as you look at 2025, because Kevin has essentially said that these projects are just already at this point, kind of to me feels like they're just ready to release it and they've decided no more polish or whatever. If you look at 2025, I think with their given strategy, the best case scenario is that the majority or all of these like more fringe projects like Friendly Neighborhood, Eyes of Wakanda, I would even argue Ironheart, like all the stuff that was greenlit very early on in Phase 4, where the studio was just out of step and the audience has just moved even further away, so it's like they were even more out of step. All of that stuff I think should have been gone, but considering that a lot of it's just being dropped, if the majority of those projects are like Agatha, and we walk away from those projects saying, wow, better than I thought. Wow, kind of surprising. If they can truly hit that mark for the majority of the projects, I think they're going to be fine. Truly. Because I thought long and hard about this, right? Like, I'm pretty stubborn. I like to be right. You know, I made this call like 2 years ago and got a ton of blowback from people saying, I hate this, that, second, and the third. You want to cancel every project? You're a monster, right? So I'm stubborn and I want to be right. But the more I thought about it, if in the best case scenario, if they can truly put out stuff that is surprisingly good for the majority of those projects, they will be absolutely fine. I, as a fan, don't love that we're looking at that and we're like, that's the best case scenario. Not a great place to be, but I will admit that it could be fine. If they do it, it could be fine. I'm kind of losing my mind over here a little bit, but maybe Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man will be surprisingly good. And maybe the next one will be surprisingly good. And maybe the next one. will be surprisingly good. We will just have to see. So that's my take on like what if and the friendly neighborhood thing. It's really not blowing my hair back, but I'm gonna give it a shot. What do you guys think? What do you think about this whole situation?